So I feel like music is one of those things whereby it's a creative industry, where like very low percentage industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because the odds of success in music is so low,
Yep.
a lot of people like need to go into like maybe need to get a more conventional kind of job.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone thinks they want to be a musician, but they're sort of struggling with it, how can I break out? How can I put myself out there?
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for them?
Go out into the whatever city you're at. Okay, there's two ways to do it. If you're in the big city or close to somewhere like Toronto, you have to put it on yourself to go into all the spaces that you want to either perform at, talk to all the people who are organizing things, network with them, and just see what's possible. Because a lot of people say those things. Even at university, I was like, I would talk to some people who I knew were good, and I'd ask them, okay, why haven't you put anything out? Not the right time, or like I haven't got the right song, or I'm not sure how I would do X, Y, and Z. And to me, sometimes I think I had an advantage in terms of not knowing how tough it would be on a day-to-day, because I was like, before I had any kind of connection, I was just like looking online to see, okay, I live in Oakville. Is there any music place close to here? I found one. I wanted to talk to them. They put me in contact with an engineer. I had already written my first EP by then. I recorded it there. Then I dropped it on SoundCloud. Through there, I was able to meet some producers on SoundCloud. I asked if they want to work. Worked with a couple from there. Then I got some more beats from the second EP. You see, and things just kept scaling up. And I was like, at the same time, I'm doing shows. And I'm like, oh, I'm not even like stressing myself or killing myself to be like, how can I be the best? It's just one small thing and the next and the next. And looking at what can I do in this space that I'm in. You have to do that in real time, in real life, like network with real people around you.
Just gotta put yourself out there, right?
But if you can't do that for whatever reason and that's really not viable, or you're too far away, really look online and think to yourself, how can I leverage this?
I like that.
Because just before you say that, before I had a single real fan, like I could talk to someone and say, oh, they like my music. SoundCloud, I wasn't booming or anything, but I was like, people actually coming across or asking to work or like doing this and that, and I would never have guessed just from releasing an EP that could happen.
Yeah.
So I like what you're saying, and I really like to get into like specifically in details. So now let's pretend let's say I'm a 18-year-old. I think I want to make music, right? But like you said, never like I know absolutely no one in the industry. I don't know where to start.
Yep.
You said reach out to people. Right? How do I even who should I reach out to, and how do I go about reaching out?
People you like. I messaged people I was fans of, and I worked with them. That's a trippy thing. Not to get too deep into that, but that's like people that I was listening to, or like I had seen, oh, this guy has some really like, this sound is cool. I can really see myself going over this. Or even if I working with them, I never want to talk to someone and make it seem as if like I'm not being genuine or I'm just trying to use them for their position. It's not that. It's like I legitimately like what you do. If you want to work, cool. But if not, as well, just to talk about like what you learned and everything else. Because I love music for real, like as a fan.
Yeah.
So even just talking to people for me is like that's already a win.
Yeah.
Just to see like why or how did you get to where you did, or how did you come up with this. And if that's the energy the 18-year-old or the young kid has in their heart about music, I think you want to have those conversations anyway, or you should. And then from there, you should really be able to get your next step or have a feeling for where you want to go.
So like build relationships with people in the industry, even though it's not actually making music with them, right?
Even if it
like if
like
it's talking,
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
No, because then there's some people. Who did I talk to? There's this guy called Sam Guthrow, who was maybe I think he was the first SoundCloud artist I was listening to on a regular, and we spoke a couple times.
Yeah.
And that changed a way I saw even the creation of music and just like how I should position myself and go about talking to people. Just the conversation. I never ended up working with him, but I was like, damn, like if not for that conversation, I don't know if this song would exist.
Yeah.
Real talk. So I was like, this is even just to shape your mindset and knowing what's possible.
Yeah.
Again, that's the biggest theme. Like just when you know what's possible, then you have your goal. Then it's easy to run after.
Yeah.
So it's a big one.
And you're talking about marketing and distribution. Like so, as you're sort of thinking through your own career, right? What are some like things you're thinking about in terms of like marketing distribution in order to like scale up Dell?
Like how to scale up.
Like sort of like you make a song, right?
Yes.
Or like you're thinking about my plan for the next 1 to 5 years.
Yes.
What are some of your what are some of the marketing plans and ideas and strategies you have in order to grow your brand and your music?
It's different ways, or not different ways. Different. How I need to be creative outside of music too, in terms of content. Because everything is really like a marketing vehicle when you think about it. Like a music video is just a long ad.
That's why I was telling people, pro tip: if you make music, LinkedIn could work too. You know, like you could. I can definitely see someone breaking out on LinkedIn.
All sorts of entertainment.
Fair enough.
But go on with what you were saying. Everything's a marketing vehicle.
Yeah, everything is. Like before, like when you're a kid, everything is just entertainment. But like looking at it a different way, I was like, oh, like this music video from Rick Ross is just a long advert to listen to the album. Really? I think there was an album, Raymond vs. Raymond, where Usher made a video for every song, if I'm not mistaken. And that, at least I was in Tanzania at the time. And even just seeing it on TV, I was like, because Because at the time, I'm not really buying music or anything else. So to see everything be accessible like that, I had a picture to every song in my mind. And if I was ever talking to someone about it, it's just that now I have more of a
context,
more context, more impetus to be like, oh, have you checked out this song? Because this is available. We can see that, like, I can show people more easily, and there's something more you can gravitate towards. And like, obviously times change, and you have to think of something new and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's really the big thing. I've done things on this scale before. Like my first EP, let's say I did it at this level. Next EP I did it at this level with a few more things. The next release I have, I'm thinking, okay, I need to bring out the songs, obviously. Can I bring out video with that? Can I bring out, I have a cartoon theme running through a lot of the songs I'm making right now. Should I make like a comic book? Like, you know, those kinds of things. And it's just like, how can I build a world around what I'm trying to do?
Like branching out to different types of mediums.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be the biggest level, but then is what I said about quality before. If it's good, I want to be able to look back at all the music, everything I did, and be able to say there was a growth all the way through. I never sacrificed this for speed. I never sacrificed this for fans at the moment. I never did any of that. I did this because I cared about the quality of stuff I was making, and I wanted anyone who was buying into me to see the real value in the content I was providing, and that's it.
What do you think is the biggest challenge you have right now?
Let's go. Check. She ain't gotta tell me what to do with it. I already know.